So in this video, we're going to compare the new iPad 9 versus the Galaxy Tab S7 FE. I'll leave a link with current pricing and more info on each of these two tablets in the description of the video. So let's go ahead and get started. When it comes to the price on these, the iPad 9 starts at $329, $529 for the Tab S7 FE. Although I will mention, Samsung always has trade-in deals and always seems to have discounts going on. Same thing with Apple, usually there's a sale, not quite as much as Samsung, but still something to look out for. But as far as normal pricing goes, we're talking about $200 more for the Galaxy Tab S7 FE, and you get more storage options with the Galaxy Tab, 64 gigabytes, 128, 256, and with the iPad 9, you get 64 gigabytes or 256. Probably one of the biggest differences between these two is definitely going to be the screen size. You've got 2560 by 1600 resolution, 12.4-inch display on the Tab S7 FE, 2160 by 1620, 10.2-inch display on the iPad 9. One thing that I feel is a little odd with these two tablets, you've got smaller icons on the larger screen and then huge icons on the smaller iPad 9. Not sure why they decided to do it like this, but in my opinion, the icons should be a little larger on the Tab S7 FE, but hey, what do I know? The other thing I will mention is some things will look better or show more on the larger Galaxy Tab S7 FE, but then sometimes you've got websites that look like you're on a cell phone versus on the iPad. It'll actually show more information even though the screen is smaller. The iPad screen also appears to be a little bit brighter, but it's really going to come down to, do you want a larger screen for watching videos or playing games? If that's what you're looking for, then obviously you want the Galaxy Tab, but I feel like most people are going to be happy with the displays on both tablets. Another category where these two are very similar is going to be the battery life. And to be honest, the battery life on these two tablets are not that great compared to other tablets I've tested. I got 5.5 hours on the iPad 9 during my battery drain test and 6 hours on the Tab S7 FE. So technically, if you want the better battery life, go with the Galaxy Tab. But again, it's super close on this one. Performance-wise, you've got an A13 Bionic chip on the iPad 9. You get a Snapdragon 750G or 778G, depending on if you get the cellular version or not. And then you can actually get 4 gigabytes, 6 gigabytes, or 8 gigabytes of RAM on the Galaxy Tab, depending on which storage option you go with, where this version of the iPad 9 has 3 gigabytes of RAM, and my version here of the Galaxy Tab is 4 gigabytes of RAM. So yeah, pretty much everything leans towards the iPad 9 being faster, more powerful. Geekbench scores for the iPad is quite a bit more powerful in processing and graphics performance, but just moving around the software, doing everyday tasks, you aren't gonna notice a huge difference. Gaming is going to be better on the iPad 9 because of the better performance, but again, putting them right next to each other, playing PUBG Mobile on both, you're not going to see a huge difference from one tablet to the other. The iPad will be easier to handle though since it's smaller. Obviously, if you're using a controller, that's not going to matter. I feel like most people are going to enjoy gaming on either device, but if you want the tablet with better performance and gaming, it's going to be the iPad 9. When it comes to cameras on these two, neither one of these is going to replace the quality you'll get from your cell phone, but in my testing, the Galaxy Tab S7 FE has a little bit better front and rear facing camera, at least when it comes to taking photos. I'll let you guys decide on which has better cameras for video. Here's a few samples of each just to give you an idea of what to expect. Speakers are definitely going to be louder on the Galaxy Tab. Plus you get speakers on both sides versus just on one side for the iPad. In my opinion, having them on both sides is how all tablets should be nowadays. With the new iPad 9, you actually get a headphone jack. Unfortunately, you don't get that on the more expensive, larger Tab S7 FE. This one really isn't that close since the iPad hasn't upgraded their speakers in the past few years, at least on their entry-level device. So unless you're putting your hand to sort of cup the sound of the speaker towards you, or if you have a case that does something similar, the Galaxy Tab is definitely going to win this category without too much effort. I'll give you a quick sample of each just to give you an idea of what to expect. A few other things to consider is you've got DeX on Samsung, which in my opinion is a little better than trying to use an iPad like a laptop. Plus you get the S Pen included, where you have to pay an extra $100 for the Apple Pencil. But keep in mind, even after you spend that extra $100, you've still spent less than the Galaxy Tab. Also, you get the old school Touch ID there with the physical button on the iPad 9, which is definitely one of the easiest and fastest way to unlock a tablet. I actually really like that versus how they moved it to the power button. And then you don't get a fingerprint scanner on the Galaxy Tab. Another good thing about the iPad is it's going to fit the 7th and 8th gen accessories since the hardware is pretty much identical and hasn't been changed. So yeah, you could probably get some accessories for the iPad, probably a little bit cheaper than the Galaxy Tab. To me, there's a few scenarios where I think you would get the Galaxy Tab over the iPad, and that's going to be if you want a huge screen for watching Netflix, YouTube, any kind of streaming service. Same thing with gaming, it's definitely going to give you a larger screen. But because the iPad wins in most categories and it's going to be $200 less, unless you get the Galaxy Tab at the same price, which actually could happen later this year, for me it's kind of hard to recommend the Tab S7 FE over the iPad. But again, that's going to be personal preference when it comes to stuff like this, and there's a lot of variables that I might not have mentioned in this video. Plus everyone uses their tablets a little bit different, but hopefully this video helped you get a little closer look at comparing the Galaxy Tab S7 FE versus the new iPad 9. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.